You got a switcher to shut that off, you see it?
Yes, sir, and I even shut it off by myself.
Yeah, now it's off. So when you see that, sometimes if I have an emergency and I have to say something during a race, you can never hear me.
Would you meet Craig in the pit area, please? Sue Hemmon, would you meet Craig in the pit area? Again, good evening and welcome to Hales Corner Speedway. We do have some additional entries for you now, and some more of them will be coming in shortly. So let's bring that entry list up to date for those of you who were taking records earlier. Car number 3R is Bob Roble out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, in the Bob Warren Automotive Gleason Racing Equipment Gambler. Car number 3N, John Tierney out of Lake Villa, Illinois, in the HTP MIG Welders, Borchards, Race Engines, Nance. In car number 10W, Alan Winker in the Coors and Don Wells 85 Gambler. In car number 12 out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, the Miller American Sprinter of Kim Mock. In car number 30 out of Fox Lake Harbor, Fox Lake, Illinois, the Fox Lake Harbor Challenger, Jim Mullis, M-O-U-L-I-S. In car number 57 from Union Grove, Wisconsin, in the Bell Harbor Marine R&M Enterprises 1984 Stanton will be Kevin Speece. In car number 61 out of Winthrop Harbor, Wisconsin, Joe Rowe in the Atico Race Engines 1986 Gambler. And in car number 93 from Lakeville, Illinois, the A&R Trucking Rings Radiator 1986 Gambler, Gary Zobel. There's some additional entries, and there will be more as we get a little bit further on and we get the rest of the cards up from the pit area. A little difficult to see them from here. Drivers, we'd like to remind you that the drivers' meeting is scheduled for 9 minutes from now at the back of the main concession stand. Driver trucks that are signed in, gentlemen, we need you now on the racetrack. The rest of the push trucks and tow trucks, if you signed in, we expect you trackside to help with the track packing at this time. One last call, gentlemen, in the pit area. If you signed in to get in as a push truck or a tow truck tonight, you're expected on the racetrack to help pack the racetrack. Sprinter Al Schlafer, S-C-H-L-A-E-F-E-R. In car number 24 out of Greenfield, Wisconsin, the JF&L Trucking Store Grading Gambler will be Rick Keller. Car number 24, Rick Keller. In car number 2X out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the G&G Trucking Schleifers Trostel Sprinter, Billy Kogis. In car number 34 out of Silver Lake, Wisconsin, in the Hardy State Bank of Antioch, Illinois, it'll be the 34L. Tonight, because we have two 34s, will be Rick Lawrence, L-A-W-R-E-N-C-E, Rick Lawrence. We have 34L anyway, we only have one 34 in the pit area. Car number 4 out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, the Budweiser Dixon Automotive Gambler, the driver Dennis Spitz. Dennis Spitz in car number 4 out of Kenosha, Wisconsin. In car number 21, and I'll tell you what, you talk about picking a tough night to make your sprint car debut. First night ever in a sprint car out of Big Bend, Wisconsin, in the Agofsky Porter Weldroning Snap-on Tools Trackside Video Mike's Radiator Challenger will be Howie Gleason. Howie Gleason out of Big Bend. First night ever in a sprint car. And I think if it were me, I'd be shaking a little inside my boots if I had to go up against the likes of these guys that we've got in the pit area tonight. Car number 91 out of Beaver Dam in the Bob Warren Automotive Allen Chassis Sprinter, Bob Warren. Car number 91, Bob Warren. And in car number 95, out of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, the Bob Warren Automotive S&S Welding Greenwood Challenger from Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, Bill Warren. So 95C will have Billy Warren out of Beaver Dam at the wheel tonight. And that should bring us up to date on all the cars that are in the pit area. I would like to welcome race fans to its 10th season. And on behalf of Coors Light and Craig Hemmon, we welcome each and every one of you. I think you're in for a thrill. For those of you who were here for the 2 other big Outlaw Sprint shows over the last 2 years, I'm sure you were thrilled with the show, and it will be, I think, even better today. The track conditions should be just super. And we're about ready to get the cars pushed off. About another 5 to 10 minutes, and the cars will be joining the push trucks out here, or replacing the push trucks, and we'll be ready to get underway. Dick Witt to do the flagging tonight. I want to remind you to stop by that World of Outlaws souvenir trailer. The World of Outlaws souvenir trailer, right behind the main grandstand area, just to the turn 4 side of the back of the concession stand. Also, the latest edition of Midwest Racing News available, and Junior Braga's t-shirt stand down there as well. Car number 21 coming out of the pit area is Howie Gleason. Howie Gleason got out of the pits and stalled right on the main straight. First time ever in a sprint car for Howie Gleason. Boy, would have liked to have kept it running down the front straightaway. Gib Weiser in car number 55. Gibby Weiser just going into turn number 1. Rick Keller in car number 24 out of the pit area. Here comes Rick Keller in car 24 out of the pits. And Kevin Speece in the 57 car. Kevin Speece in car number 57 about to exit the pit area. And car number 17, Chris Eash out of Woodbine, Maryland, being pushed off in the pit area as well. Car number 95 coming out. That's Bill Warren out of Beaver Dam. first qualifiers. Let's get them lined up. Welcome on behalf of Adolph Coors Brewing. We've got about 150 guests of Adolph Coors Brewing here tonight. You folks that are guests of Adolph Coors, welcome to the Coors Light World of Outlaw Copenhagen Skoal Shootout. Boy, what a great night of racing we're going to have today. Some of those guests, P&J's Blue Chipper on South Howell. Coach Light Inn of Cudahy. Country Castle in Oak Creek, where you get in free tonight if you got a ticket after we're done here. And Fisher's Liquors, two of them. South 27th in Oak Creek and 76th in Rawson. In Franklin, Wisconsin, we'd like to welcome those folks. Gambler Brake Company is going to give one brake to each of the top 4 finishers in the B main today. Gambler Brake Company. And D&G Video Sales. Mr. Gittens up there taking video of all the racing action tonight, and those are available up there from Mr. Gittens. And gentlemen, we need Mr. Herrera, Haudenschild, Kinser, Janus, Turney, Lawrence, Gomez, Molis, Beertzer, Keller, Kogis. Let's get those first group lined up, gentlemen. Let's get them. First car to qualifying, car number 45X, Johnny Herrera out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, finished second in the A main in Knoxville on Wednesday night. This is the Herrera Racing Challenger out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, currently 8th in the World of Outlaw point standings with 5,367. Here he comes, Johnny Herrera. 14.647, and that's bye-bye to the old record for the World of Outlaws, 14.647, 81.92 miles an hour. 14.658 on the second. 14658, 14.647, a brand new World of Outlaw track record. First driver out of the pit area. Next to qualify in car number 2, Jack Haudenschild out of Millersburg, Ohio. The Gillum Wheels Nance Sprinter, Jack Haudenschild, Millersburg, Ohio. Boy, Jack hitting down behind that screen, sitting very low, gets a little bit wide in the first turn. Jack Haudenschild in the red, number 2. The Gillum Wheel Challenger. 15.224 on the first one, 15.224, lap number 1, 15.224. Out of turn number 4, and down to the checkered flag, lap number 2, 14.785, 14785, just a little off the old World of Outlaw record. Our next car to qualify. And car number 48. Out of Olyte, Indiana. Out of Olyte, Indiana, the Allen Knott Honda Gambler, the driver, Mark Kinser. For Mark Kinser in the 48 car. Boy, this is a pretty appearing automobile. An Allen Knott Honda sponsored Gambler. 14.894, 14894 on the first one. And 15.039. Out of Atlantic, Indiana, Mark Kinser in the 48 car gets his time in the books. In car number 25 out of Greenfield, Wisconsin, the Lamb Racing Engine Stewart copied Chevy powered Sprinter of Rod Janus, J-A-N-U-S-E, Ron Janus, out of Greenfield, Wisconsin. .655, 16655 on the first one. 14.655 on lap number 1. .16.952, 16952. Next qualifier in the 3N car out of Lake Villa, Illinois, in the HTP MIG Welders Portraits Racing Engines 1986 Nance is John Tierney. John Tierney out of Lakeville, Illinois. The smoke coming off the left bank on that automobile. Johnny Tierney, a little bit of smoke coming off the rocker covers on the left bank. I'll be doing some checking on that. A little smoke coming off of John Tierney's left side. Lap number 1, 15.329, 329 on the first one. 15.329 on lap number 1. 15,329 1/1000ths. Lap number 2, 15,305. 15,305 on the second. Next car to qualify. Rick Lawrence in car 34L out of Silver Lake. This is the Hardy State Bank of Antioch, Illinois. Broad stop. Ray Hintz Insurance, Pimp Painting, Gleason Racing Equipment, and Gunrange Auto Body Gambler. Rick Lawrence in the 34L car. Rick out of Silver Lake, Wisconsin, right on the border with Illinois. Out of the bend and down to complete lap number 1. 15,583, 15,583 on lap 1. 15,583 on the first one. Lap number 2 is better, 15,519. 15,519 on the second. Joe Grumens out of Wheatland, Wisconsin, the Precision Automotive Tognati. Next to qualify, car number 44, Joe Grumens out of Wheatland, Wisconsin, Precision Automotive Tognati. Joe Grumens started the impact season this year with a lot of impacts. First 3 programs at the half mile at Impact, he got upside down 3 different times. Lap number 1, 16,145, 16,145 for Joe Grumens. Impact Speedway at Oregon, Wisconsin with a big 4-for-1 late model and Sprinter 15,935, 15,935. Sprinter Street Stock and ATV show this coming Friday night at Impact Speedway. 15,935. Used to be the old Capitol Speedway at Oregon. Car number 30, Jim Molis of Fox Lake, Illinois, in the Fox Lake Harbor Alice Machine Chevrolet. Challenger Sprinter. This guy's 41 years old, the mechanic out of Fox Lake, Illinois, Jimmy Molis. Lap number 1 for Jim Molis, 15,508. 15,508 for the first, 15,508 on lap number 1. Lap number 2 is 15,527. Woo, 15,527. Car number 75S, Kenny Beartzer, out of West Bend, Wisconsin. DNA Race Engines, Gaydon's Auto Body Gambler. Also sponsored by MJ Systems and Pub and Grub. And Willie Gaydon coming along, by the way, after that accident up at Wisconsin International Raceway. Willie Gaydon on the improve. It'll be a long time, but Willie coming back. Boy, Kenny Beartzer a little bit sideways in turn number 2. Son of that now deceased but very famous driver here, Itchy Beartzer. Back in the modified days, 16,401 for Ken Beartzer. 16,401. The first one for Kenny Beartzer, and I don't think I gave that one to you. And he only took one. No wonder I didn't give it to you. 16,401. Boy, it's a good thing they've got the tires screwed to the rims. You can see how soft they are when they get a little sideways. You can hear them trying to rub them right off the rear rims. qualifier in car number 24 out of Greenfield, the JF&L Trucking and Excavating Store Grading Gambler. The driver is Rick Keller, K-E-L-L-E-R, Rick Keller of Greenfield. Lap number 1, 15.536, 1.5536 for the first one. 15.536 for Rick Keller. Gentlemen, we need more cars in the timing line, and more cars to the timing line. 15.507 on the second. We need the rest of the cars in the timing line, gentlemen. 15.507 on lap number 2. Next to qualify in car number 2, Billy Kogis. Bill out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the G&G Trucking Sleepers. Trostel sprinter. Billy Kogis got upside down at Angel Park about 3 weeks ago. Little oil coming off the left side of that car as well. Billy hit one of the inside tire markers and had a tremendous flip. Said he just didn't see it, and then when he did, he said, whoops. It was too late by the time you say whoops. 15.819, 1.5819, the first one for Bill Kogis. When you say whoops in a sprint or a midget, it's usually over. Lap number 2, 15.661. Lap 2, the official, 1.5661. Bob Peterson next to qualify. Bob Peterson in the 6th car. Bob out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, the Riverside Builders Prestige Auto Works, 1985 gambler. Bob Peterson. Out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, pointing that thing the wrong way to go in and the right way to come out. Now on the first of his 2 laps. Boy, Herrera, they set a new World of Outlaw record the first time out. The guys haven't been able to get close since. 15.237 on the first one. 1.5237 on lap 1. 15.237 on the first one. Second one is just a little slower. 15.236 on the second. 1.5236 on lap 2. Let's get the rest of the sprinters in line, gentlemen. Let's get the rest of the cars in line for qualify. Car number 18, Brad Doty of Fredericksburg, Ohio, the Coors Light Gambler. Well, would he like to do a job for the sponsor tonight? Brad Doty. Boy, did he pitch it in there. Did he pitch it into 1 and 2? Brad Doty really getting a good hook through 1 and 2. A little bit up out of the groove, but got a good hook anyway. 593. 14593, and I told you he got a good hook. And he's even better this time. 82.23. Whoops, that hurt him a little bit in 4. But it's better yet, even with the slip in 4. 14.521 for Brad Doty. This is, at least you can say you ran in a World of Outlaws show your first race, right? 16.964, 16964 on lap number 1. Lap number 2, 16.688, 16688 for the second one. Next car to qualify in the 6th car, Bobby Davis Jr. Bobby Davis Jr. next to qualify out of Memphis, Tennessee, and a Consolidated Credit Gambler. Lap number 1, 15-121. 15-121 on the first one. 15-121 on the first. And 14-891 on the second. 1-4-891, that's fourth quick overall. 14-891, fourth quick overall behind Jack Haudenschild. For Bobby Davis Jr., Joe Rowe in car number 61 out of Winthrop Harbor. Latigo Race Engines 1986 Gambler. Joe Rowe out of Winthrop Harbor, Wisconsin. Coming in lap number 1 for Joe Rowe. 15-594, 15594 for lap 1. 15-594, lap number 1. Lap number 2 as he comes out of turn 4. 15-.593, 15593 for the second one. Next to qualify, Chris Eash in car number 17. Car number 17E, Chris Eash out of Woodbine, Maryland. E&G Chassis Osborne, Chris Eash. E&G Chassis Osborne, next to qualify. In the 10 car. And I correct that. Alan Winker in the 10. First lap 15-524. 15-524. And Chris Eash, I got my notes mixed up. Chris Eash has got a broken rear end in the 17E car. Second lap 15-987. 15987. As Alan Winker puts the 10 car into the field, car number 26 next to qualify. Al Schlafer out of Sussex in the Schlafer Auto Incorporated Garabin sponsored Nicholson Bolden Race Engines powered automobile. A broken rear end on Chris Eash's 17 car is the word. Lap number 1, 15-429, 15429 for Alan Schlafer. Boy, did he let the car run free coming out of turn 2. Did a nice job of letting that car run up to the cushion in turn number 2. Oh, and he came right at it momentarily. This one, 15-556, 15556, 15-429, the official. Next in the blue and white 10 car, Ronnie Schumann. The Casey Luna Ford-powered Challenger. Big 4 row, and did he pick the front end up? Got a little hook coming out of turn 4 and brought the front end right off the ground with that Ford power plant. Oh, did he get a hook when he came out of turn 4? 14-938, 14938. Let's watch him on this next one and see how he does. Because he's well within the ability of putting it way down in the field. Well, again, a little trouble with 4. 14-835 on the second. It's too bad that he hooked a little coming out because he had a 14-835 and he was on the way down. It's still fourth quick overall for Ronnie Schumann. And 2 little hooks coming out of turn 4. Twice he got just a little out of shape. The Z93 car of Gary Zobel is next out of Lake Villa. A&R Trucking Rings Radiator Gambler. Mixing them up in the engine room a little bit. The engine not sounding as healthy as it might. Gary Zobel. And it's still missing as he goes by us. Out of 3, down to 4. 15-678, 155-56 15678 on the first one. 15678. And 15781 the second. The first one, the official. 15678, the official for Gary Zobel in the Z93. We need the following cars, gentlemen. 3X Danny Smith, Kevin Speece in the 57A, Gib Weiser in the 55, Bob Warren in the 91, Dennis Spitz in 41, Steve Kinser in the 11, Dickie Coburn in the 5, Kim Mock and Randy Simple. Gentlemen, let's get them up. 10X Steve Sleever out of Port Atkinson, Wisconsin. The Budweiser R&H Enterprises Nance Sprinter, Steve Sleever, S-L-E-A-V-E-R. Steve Sleever, 18062 on the second, 18062. Bill Warren of Beaver Dam, the Bob Warren's Automotive, S&S Welding, Greenwood. That's from Greenwood, Nebraska, S&S Welding. This is a Chevy Pollard Challenger. 6 years of racing experience. Number 16083, 16083. Last one is 16150, 16150 for Bill Warren. In the 3R car, Bob Robel out of Oconomowoc in the 3R. Guy's been racing 30 years altogether, 20 years as a driver out of in the Gleason Racing Equipment, Bob Warren Automotive, sponsored machine, Bobby Robel. Lap number 115-635, 15635. .623, 15623 on the second one, and Robel hangs on. Tomorrow night, Grandpa Frank's night here at Hales. Time trial 6:30, racing at 8. Hales late model, sportsman, and Hales Wales. Danny Smith out of Danville, Indiana. Challenger chassis special. Out of Danville, Indiana. Lap number 115, 187, 15, 187 on the first one. 7th quick overall, 15, 187, 7th quick for Danny Smith. And that's still 7th. Boy, you go that hard and you end up in the same place you were after the first one. Of course, you may not stay there. I want you all to decide which is the best looking sprinter tonight. Not driver girls, I'm talking about the cars. Let's kind of figure that out. We'll try to get everybody to answer us later as to which one they think's the best appearing car. Chris Eash has missed his turn in qualifying. He fixed the rear end and he's back in line, and that's good. The bad side, he only gets one lap. That's the bad side.
Yeah, I don't think Simple's going to make qualifying, so the audience knows he just put his engine in at 6 p.m. tonight, so he just hauled in, so you're going to see Simple qualifying. Still putting the headers on the car right now as they stand it. Okay, well, they're telling him that if he can make the qualifying line, he'll get ready to start the engine one before he goes through.
Some things going on in the pit area. Chris Eash, as we told you, broke a rear end. He'll get one lap. Randy Simple just put a brand new motor in the car tonight. Got it done at 6 o'clock. He's putting the headers on in the pit area. They'll give him 2 laps. They'll be real generous. Give him 2 to get it warmed up. Gibby Weiser in car number 55 out of Neosho, Wisconsin. Here's another guy that's had some real tough luck this year. Kelman Corporation, Wally's Paints, Nickerson Engineering, and Weiser Racing Enterprises. Junior high math and science teacher. Gibby's been at this a long time, but it's been a long season. Been upside down 2 or 3 times. Had some engines go out from under him, and whoa, he gets a wild ride down through the bottom. 15,355, 15355, the first one. 15,355. Midwest Racing News available in the stands now. 15,507 on the second one. 15507 on lap number 2. Car number 91, Bob Warren out of Beaver Dam to Bob Warren Automotive. Sponsored Allen Chassis, Chevrolet powered Sprinter next to qualify. .481, 16481, and then he goes back to the pit area. So one only, 16,481, and he goes back to the pits, Bob Warren. Phil Hall and I were just talking over here about the fact that these sprint cars sound like the modifieds used to sound a bunch of years ago. It's a good sound for here at Hales. Car number 41 next to qualify, Dennis Spitz out of Kenosha, the Budweiser, Dixon Automotive, Chevrolet powered Gambler. Boy, had the attitude right, but couldn't get a bite. You could see the car just sit there and spin the rears that time as he went through 3 and 4. 16077, 16077. Same thing in 1 and 2. He's just sitting there hooking and burning off that right rear as he can't really get a hook on the racetrack. Out of the corner. This one's better, 15,926. Nice and smooth. 15926 helped him out a lot. Next car to qualify, car number 11 out of Bloomington, Indiana, 7-time World of Outlaw champion, Coors Light Gambler is Steve Kinser. Steve Kinser, right down on the bottom of the racetrack, chooses the bottom hole, right down on the bottom, trying the short way around. 14,878 wasn't too bad a way around either. That's good for 5th quick. 14,878, 5th quick overall. This time he throws it in on the high side, runs over the cushion a little bit, and he paid for that lap. 15,129, 15129. But he's 5th overall, Steve Kinser. Kinser in that baby blue 5 out of Muskego. The Young's Auto Body Gambler of Dick Coburn. Hot Rod Shop of Wadsworth, Illinois, and the Muskego Animal Hospital, the other sponsors on the automobile. Dick Coburn. $15,755 on the first, 15755 on lap 1. Lap 2, 15,879. 15879 for the second one. Our next qualifier, car number 12, Jim Mock, out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, the Miller American, Dell's Auto Museum, Gordon's Auto Replacements, R&H Enterprises, Mike's Race Engine sponsored machine. 15,682 on the first one. Boy, Kimmy's got some rear end damage he must have got tangled with not too long ago. Jim Mock, 15,682. Lap number 2, 15,839, 15839 on the second one. Car number 17, Chris Eash out of Woodbine, Maryland, in the E&G Chassis Osborne. Chris Eash, the E&G Chassis Osborne. Had a rear end problem earlier, gets one and only one. Chris East, thunder down the backside, hangs it on the cushion, out of turn number 4 and down to the checkered flag. 14,969, a nice ride, 14,969. Eighth overall. Kevin Speece gets just one. Kevin Speece out of Union Grove, Bell Harbor Marina, R&H Enterprises, Stanton. $17,076, 17076, the one and only. And that does it for qualifying. Let's give the guys a nice hand. We have only one car that did not get together, and that's Randy Sipple, and he put an engine in, and they're not going to get that done. They'll tag him onto the back of the heat. Two drivers broke the old World of Outlaw record. Johnny Herrera, the first one to do it, with a 14,647. And now the new World of Outlaw track record holder. Let's give a nice hand out in the pit area. Car number 18 with a 14,521, Brad Doty. We need the push trucks to pack down the cushion, gentlemen. Push trucks to pack the cushion. Push trucks, we'd like you out immediately. Good job, Brad. Come on up here with us, would you, a minute? Well, Brad gets a little bit of a jump now. At least you move up a little bit in the Autolite Pace Setters Award. Congratulations, a new World of Outlaw track record here tonight. Welcome to Hales Corners.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here. Coors Light car was really going good there. Just wish we'd have drew a little better. 8's not a real good starting position, and they've got a 4, 2 6s, and an 8 in there, and we had to draw the 8, so we just got to run a little harder.
Well, I don't know how you guys do that. You know, I see a lot of guys draw in a lot of different places, and it seems to me that the bad numbers come up a whole lot worse than the good ones. But in this case, we know we got a dice in one association with the roll. They all swear that's loaded. How come you could only find the 8?
I don't know. I always usually dig around in there, and I just grabbed the first one. It was an 8. I guess I should have dug around a little bit.
Tell us a little bit about your car.
It's Marks and Kepler owned out of Pittsburgh Beach, California. Ron Shavers in Los Angeles builds the engine. It's a Gambler Chassis Company.
Well, currently you're second in the point standings, and since Steve is not here tonight, you're going to move up in the point standings, buddy.
Steve's here.
Well, Steve's leading. I'm sorry. I was thinking Sammy Swindell isn't here because he was supposed to be here and he didn't come here. But then you'll have to chase him.
Yes, you know, Steve's got a pretty good lead on us, and he's a heck of a racer, and we just keep plugging away, see what happens.
Well, for the Coors Light machine, that's nice. When Coors Light is the sponsor, we got those hats up for sale for just $5 up there. It's nice to put the sponsor's car on the quick time.
Yeah, I'm really happy for them, and Coors Light, they've done a heck of a job for us this year.
Okay, let's have a nice hand for Brad Doty. Johnson to the pace, and all the folks here at all the officials here at the Hales Corner Speedway as we bring out the pace car to pick up Old Glory, and we'll get that into the pace car here momentarily, and we'll get the national anthem underway and get this great program of World of Outlaws sprint racing underway. So now the playing of our national anthem. Sprint car racing, heat number 1. On the pole in the Z93 car, Gary Zobel out of Beaver Dam and the Bob Warren Automotive sponsored automobile on the outside of the front row. In car number 10W, Steve Slaver, or Alan Winker rather, in the Coors Light Don Wells sponsored machine. Row number 2 on the inside, car number 26, Al Schlafer. Al out of Sussex, Wisconsin. Schlafer Auto Incorporated sponsored machine on the outside. Danny Smith in the 3X car out of Danville, Illinois. The Challenger chassis special. Row number 3 on the inside, Steve Kinser, current point leader in car number 11 out of Bloomington, Indiana. By the way, he gets my vote as being the best appearing car. On the outside in the other Coors Light automobile, car number 18, driven by Brad Doty out of Fredericksburg, Ohio. The back row, car number 44, Joe Gromens. Joe out of Wheatland, Wisconsin, the Precision Automotive machine on the outside, car number 25J, driven by Rod Janis of Greenfield, Wisconsin, in the Lamb Racing Enterprises entry. Roger this got Roger Miller up here. Roger was full of Outlaw feature that's coming on later on tonight. This is Dick Witt before we go green. Are you guys ready for a little bit of thunder? This is just a little bit. Only 8 of them this time. How about it? How about you top row people? You guys are here early. All right. You got to be early here at Hales Corners to get to top row. Either that or you got to come late and have a big gun. And it better be a big gun because those guys on the top row don't give them up very easy. I know. I used to sit in that top row when I was little. I'm still little. I shrunk up in the top row. Here they come. Dick Witt's ready with the green flag. We're going 8 laps. 4 of them are going to the main. Here they come. Alan Winker in the 10 car against the lane. Look at the 18 and Doty go by on the outside. Brad Doty had taken a high line to the outside. Moves into number 2 position. Car number 11, Steve Kinser, down on the bottom, is already up to 3rd. Brad Doty leads it. Here comes Kinser. Doty, Kinser, and Alan Winker. 1, 2, 3. Brad Doty down the backside with Steve Kinser. Reverse order for the points. Kinser's got a little bit of room down on the bottom. We'll be halfway next time. Halfway next time. Brad Doty, Steve Kinser, 1 and 2. Oh boy, Brad Doty's really got it figured out. Brad Doty down the backside has really got this place figured out. Steve Kinser runs 2nd. Seven laps complete this time by. White flag. Yellow light is out. Joe Gramen's in a 44 car up against the outside retaining wall. Joe Gramen's up against the outside retaining wall. And car number 44 brings out the yellow. Down the backside they come out. Dick Witt's ready with the green, the white, and the checker. 2 laps to go. And Bobby Roble down on the inside of Kinser. Roble got to go to hook and got into the number 2 spot as he flew right by Steve Kinser. Bob Roble up into the number 2 spot. The battle now for the last transfer position. Roble into 93. Gets by the 10 car of Alan Winker. Brad Doty to win. Roble is 2nd. Kinser is 3rd. Noble is 4th. Brad Doty, Bobby Roble, Steve Kinser, and Gary Zobel go to the main event. Boy, a nice job by Bob Roble as he got down on the inside of the 11 car of Steve Kinser.
Check the 26 car when he comes in. He's dropping some kind of fluid all the way around the racetrack.
Here's the lineup for the 2nd heat event. On the pole, car number 12, Kim Mock. Kim in the Miller American automobile out of Kenosha. On the outside, car number 61, Joe Rowe out of Winthrop Harbor and the Tico Race Engines Gambler. 2nd row, Rick Keller in car number 24. Rick out of Greenfield, the JF&L Trucking Store Grading Gambler. On the outside, Bob Peterson in a 6X car from Brookfield, the Riverside Builders Prestige Auto Gambler. Row number 3, Bobby Davis in a 6 car. Bobby Davis Jr. out of Memphis, Tennessee. Consolidated Credit, the sponsor. On the outside, Johnny Herrera in a 43X. 45X, Johnny Herrera out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Back row, car number 95, Bill Warren of Beaver Dam in the Bob Warren Automotive sponsored car. And Howie Gleason out of Big Bend in the Agowski Porter Well Drilling Challenger. Four more cars to the A main. 4 more to the A main. 4 more to the B main. Will the third heat stage in the pit area, gentlemen? Let's get the third heat cars down to the pit area. Here's our final car, Joe Rowe out of the pits. Third heat should stage in the pit area, gentlemen. Let's keep them rolling. Well, not no wonder, but it was Danny Smith in the 3X car, and I'm sorry about that. 3X, Danny Smith moves to the main and not Bob Roble. Be pretty tough to do it in that particular heat because it was Danny Smith in the 3 car, and those cars look an awful lot alike, I got to tell you. And Danny Smith with the good move into the number 2 spot. Bob Roble's yet to come out here. So we apologize for that mistake. Duplicate numbers. And I hadn't seen Danny Smith's car before, and enough said about that. One mistake is bad enough. Here they come out of the corner. 8 to go. Kim Mock in the 12 car. Joe Rowe in the 61 down the backside. Rick Keller in the 24 tries the inside. Keller down on the bottom, moves into second. In the third comes the 6 of Bobby Davis Jr. Bobby Davis on the outside, Keller on the inside, 3 abreast. Whoa! And Keller had to get his foot out of it. Tim Mock doing some racing with the 6 car side by side. And car number 6, Bobby Davis Jr. goes right by. Tim Mock in the 12. Tim Mock, Rick Keller, and the 45X to Johnny Herrera. Herrera now up to 3rd, and here comes Herrera on the outside. Johnny Herrera on the high side of the 12 car of Tim Mock. And Herrera buries the 45 car, takes over 2nd. Mock is 3rd. Rick Keller running 4th. 5 laps down, 3 to go. Shambles of that one. 2nd place to Johnny Herrera. Kim Mock is 3rd. Rick Keller is 4th. Heat number 3, car number 5, Dick Coburn out of Mosquito in the Young's Auto Body sponsored machine, and Bobby Roble in the 3R on the outside out of Oconomowoc. Row number 2 will be Jim Molis in car number 30. Jimmy out of Fox Lake, Illinois on the outside. John Tierney in the 3N car. John out of Lake Villa. Next row back inside, Mark Kinser in the 48 car. Mark out of Blue Lake, Indiana in the Allen Knott Honda on the outside. Car number 2, Jack Houdenchild, out of Memphis, or Millersburg, Ohio, in the Gillum Wheels Nance. Back row, Kenny Beertzer in the 75S car. Kenny out of West Bend, A&A Race Engine, Gaydon's Auto Body. And Kevin Speece in the 57A. Kevin out of Union Grove in the Bell Harbor Marina, R&H Enterprises machine. Boy, John Tierney's 3N's another one of those really pretty cars, as is Bob Robel's 3R car. World of Outlaw pace car leads them around on this Coors Light World of Outlaw Skoal Bandit Shootout. Fourth heat, gentlemen, we need the fourth heat lined up, and there'll only be a 10-minute break between the fourth heat and the B main. A 10-minute break between the fourth heat and the B main. Four more up, four more down. Regular Saturday night action. Grandpa Frank's night tomorrow, 6:30. Time trials, 8 o'clock racing. Here we go. Heat 3. World of Outlaws. Out of turn 3 and 4, Dick Witt ready to take a look at him. Here we go. John Tierney almost getting in the back end of Jimmy Mullen. On the outside, driving hard, car number 2, Jack Houdenchild. Jack Houdenchild up to third. 48, Mark Kinser has got a long ways to go. Kinser now up to 5th. Houdenchild running 2nd. Houdenchild puts the pressure on the 5 of Dickie Coburn, new leader, Jack Houdenchild. Dick Coburn, Bob Robles, Jim Mullins, Mark Kinser, Tony and Kenny Beertzer. Kevin Speece in the 57 car going to the pit area, I think. Here comes Kinser on the outside. Kinser, rim right, goes right by Jimmy Mullins. Kinser up there, rim right in the 48, goes right by Jim Mullins. Boy, Robbie Robles showing some power as he picked that front end right off the ground on the backside last time. Jack Houdenchild 5 down, 3 to go. Cutting the fine line, a battle between Kinser and Roble. 6 down this time. Jack Houdenchild leads it. Dick Coburn runs 2nd. Mark Kinser and Bob Roble. White flag this time by Jack Houdenchild. Oh, boy, what a nice job Jack Houdenchild did as he blasted through the field, comes down to the checkered flag. Jack Houdenchild out of Millersburg, Ohio. 2nd place to Dick Coburn. Mark Kinser is 3rd. And Bobby Roble. Well, now Bob Roble gets in it. Roble finishes 4th, 3rd to Mark Kinser, Dick Coburn. And Jack Houdenchild gets the win. And the Millersburg, Ohio driver in the Gillum Wheels Nance sponsored automobile takes the victory and leads those cars into the main event. Remember, gentlemen, just a 10-minute break between the 4th heat and the B main. 10 minutes only. Dennis Spitz in the 41 car will lead the field out of the pit area. Out of Kenosha, the Budweiser Dixon Automotive sponsored machine on the outside. Bill Kogis in the G&G Trucking Sleepers Race Engines entry. Row number 2, and that's car number 2. Row number 2 is Rick Lawrence in the 34L car out of Silver Lake. The Hardee's Gambler on the outside. Gibby Weiser in car number 55 out of Neosho. The Keelman Corporation Wally's Paint Tognati. The next row is Chris Eash in car number 17E out of Woodbine, Maryland, and the E&G Chassis Osborne on the outside. Ronnie Schumann in car number 10 out of Tempe, Arizona, in the Casey Lamb Ford-powered Challenger. The next row back inside, car number 91, Bob Warren of Beaver Dam into Bob Warren's Automotive Allen chassis machine. Steve Schlaver in car 10X. Steve out of Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. It's the Budweiser R&H Enterprises machine. And Randy Sipple, if Randy got the engine done, is added to the back of this. Randy Sipple out of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin in the Wagner Automotive Gambler. Besides, I want to see these guys race hard in that 35-lap main, because there's going to be some wheel biting, hard pushing, outlaw action for 35 big ones. And we're really going to get the thunder then. 22 cars in the A main. And they're going to be throwing a little dirt, slamming them up against the concrete a little bit with that right rear by the time we get there, because that cushion's going back every lap. Dick Witt dares them, stands out in the middle and tells them one more time around. And they come out of the corner down. Randy Sipple, whoa! A little bit of bumping in the inside. Car number 2, Billy Kogis got it in the back end of Sipple. Kogis right up the rear nerve fire of Randy Sipple. One down, Sipple leads it. Kogis is second. Car number 10 running third, Ronnie Schumann. Schumann to the outside. Here comes Chris Eash on the outside. Schumann high, Eash high. The World of Outlaw Stars come to the front. Gib Weiser running 5th. Ron Schumann out in front. Randy Sipple about to be challenged by Chris Eash. Gib Weiser working on Billy Kogis. Gib Weiser looking over Billy Kogis. 4 down this time by. Weiser right on the rear door for that final transfer spot. Boy, Schumann right up against the cushion. Ronnie Schumann right up against the outside cushion. East second, Sipple third. Kogis is 4th and Weiser is 5th. White flag flies for Ronnie Schumann. Second place, Chris Eash. Third is Dennis Smith and Billy Kogis. Gibby Weiser with one more turn to get the job done. Weiser chases Kogis to the flag. Here they come. Ron Schumann, Chris Eash, Dennis Spitz, and Billy Kogis go to the main. Rick Lawrence, Gib Weiser, Bobby Warren, and Steve Schlaver go to the B main. Gentlemen, in the pit area, 10-minute break. Just a 10-minute break. And we're going to the B main in 10 minutes, guys. 10-minute break, fellas. Okay. Chance for you to go down and get a Coors Light.
Your attention, please. We have parked in the west line.
Two, it's Sean Turney in the 3 and it here. They come Bob Peterson in the 6X. Row number 3, Jim Mullis and Rick Lawrence in the 30 and 34. Alan Winker in 10 and Joe Rowe in 61. Joe Gramenz in the 44 and Billy Warren in the 95. 75, Ken Beerser, 91, Bob Warren. The 25 of Rod Janis and the 21 of Howie Gleason. Kevin Speece in the 57A and Steve Slaver in the 10X. And Randy Sipple in the 39F. Around and around we go for 12, and 6 cars are going to go into the A main. 6 of them go up into the A main. And then we're going to go 35 laps in the A main. Well, we got the first 4 rows of that A main set. The 17E of Chris East will be on the pole. On the outside will be the 48 car, driven by Mark Kinser. Row number 2 is going to be the 6 of Bobby Davis Jr. On the outside will be the 11, Steve Kinser. Row number 3 will have car 10, Ronnie Schumann. On the outside, the 2 car of Jack Haudenschild. On the inside of the 4th row will be the 45X of John Herrera, and outside, you know, it's going to be car number 18 of Brad Doty. The A.J. Foyt Supply Monte Carlo World of Outlaws Skoal Bandit Sprint Car Pace Car leads them around. Dick Witt checking the lineup. 6 guys only make it. 12 laps to go. This is it, folks. You either make it now or you put it on the hauler. It's as easy as that. This is the last chance, B main. The last opportunity for 6 guys to make it. It's down to the nitty-gritty. Winning is important. 6th is imperative. Dick Witt looking them over one more time. I think he likes the way they look as they come out. Well, what a great series Mr. Johnson has put together. These World of Outlaw sprint cars. All 17 cars now on the track. Here's Randy Sipple. Boy, Randy working hard. Cannot be comfortable in the seat of that Sprinter. There's no way that you can feel comfortable coming this late, having an engine that you didn't get a chance to run at all, a setup you haven't tried, and then you got to go racing. Then they get real gracious. They give you 1 lap. Well, maybe he hit right on the money and can drive right through the field, but somehow I doubt it. Here we go. Let's go semi-feature racing. Let's put 6 more in the main. Turn 3. Here they come. Turn number 4. The throttle's up. Out of the corner, we're underway. we got those big bottles. Stay back away from that fence, obviously. Al Schlafer. Schlafer, the leader, hooked into the outside retaining wall. He is walking along the upper area. Boy, I'll tell you what, that is scary. Al Schlafer up against the outside retaining wall, and a lot of fire. He just sat there, and I think it was the 39 car. Randy Sipple, I think, is the car that got into him. Randy Sipple in the 39 came out of the corner, was no place to go as Al Schlafer's car was hooked, got right into the rear end of that automobile. Oh, brother. Al Schlafer was leading the race, came out of the corner. Something broke on the car, or at least the car went down. He had it right up against the wall. Randy Sipple came out of the corner and just hooked the left rear tire and got into the fuel cell. And even with the fuel cell on the car, you saw the alcohol. In the daylight, you would not have seen that fire. That is a scary, scary situation. Al Schlafer got out of the car. The EMS people working on him along the pit road. Please stay back away from that area. You can't do any good down there. We need all those folks away from the fence area. And Rick Lawrence in the 34 car running in the 5th spot. Remember, 6 guys will transfer. Dick Witt looking him over now, giving him the 1-lap signal. One more time around. The 61, the 44, the 61, and car number 91. We collected all ones that time. Bobby Warren, Joe Gramenz, and Joe Rowe. So 2 Joes and a Bob. JoJo Bob involved in that one. The wing knocked off of the 91. Still in control as they come out of turn 3 and into turn number 4. We're going to turn them loose. Peterson turning. Bush one, Jimmy Mullen. next up again. Dick Witt ready with the green flag. 5 laps and 6 cars will move on. Kenny Beertzer gets by Warren. Now Warren comes back as Beertzer and Warren duel for that transfer spot. Jimmy Mullis on the outside, racing with John Tierney. Boy, Beertzer and Warren putting on a big drive for that number 6 spot. Jim Mullis on the outside of John Tierney, battles for a second. Alan Winker gets by Lawrence. Bob Peterson, John Tierney. Kenny Beertzer now moves into the number 5 spot. Beertzer up to 5th. Lawrence now battling for that final spot with Billy Warren. White flag is out. Rick Lawrence with 1 left to get the job done. Chasing the 95 of Bill Warren. Here comes Bob Peterson to the win. John Tierney finishes second. Third to Alan Winker. Fourth to Jimmy Mullis. Kenny Beertzer is 5th. And Billy Warren is 6th. Bob Peterson gets the win. John Tierney is 2nd. Alan Winker is 3rd. Jim Mullis finishes 4th. Kenny Beertzer is 5th. 6th place goes to Bill Warren. Here is the lineup. On the pole, in car number 17, out of Woodbine, Maryland, in the E&G chassis Osborne, will be Chris Ish. On the outside of the front row, in car number 48, out of Ulitic, Indiana, in the Allen Knott Honda Gambler, will be Mark Kinser. Row number 2 on the inside, in car number 6, out of Memphis, Tennessee, in the Consolidated Credit Gambler, Bobby Davis Jr. On the outside of row number 2, in car number 11, out of Bloomington, Indiana, the Coors Light Gambler, 7-time World of Outlaw champion, Steve Kinser. In row number 3 on the inside, in car number 10, out of Tempe, Arizona, in the Casey Laum Ford Challenger, the driver, Ron Schuin. On the outside, in car number 2, out of Millersburg, Ohio, in the Gillum Wheels, Nance-sponsored sprinter, Jack Howdenshire. Row number 4 on the inside, in car number 45X, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the Herrera Racing Challenger, Johnny Herrera. On the outside, in car number 18, your quick qualifier, a new World of Outlaw sprint car record holder here at Hales Corners, from Fredericksburg, Ohio, in the Coors Light Gambler, Brad Doty. In row number 5 on the inside, in the 3X automobile, out of Danville, Indiana, the Challenger chassis special, the driver, Danny Smith. On the outside, in car number 6X, from Brookfield, Wisconsin, in the Riverside Builders Prestige Auto Works sponsored Gambler, Bobby Peterson. In row number 6 on the inside, in car number 3N, John Tierney. John out of Lake Villa, Illinois, the HTP MIG Welders Borchardt Race Engines, Nance. On the outside of row number 6 in car number 24. Out of Greenfield, Wisconsin, the JF&L Trucking Store Grading Gambler of Rick Keller. Row number 7 on the inside in car number 30. From Fox Lake, Illinois, the Fox Lake Harbor Alice Machine Challenger, the driver, Jim Mullis. On the outside, in car 10W, out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, in the Coors and Dan Wells 1985 Gambler, Alan Winker. In row number 8 on the inside, in the 3R car, out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, the Bob Warren Automotive of Beaver Dam Gambler, driven by Bobby Roble. On the outside, in car number 2X, out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the G&G Trucking Sleepers Race Engine Trostel, the driver Bill Kogis. In row number 9, on the inside, in car number 93Z, out of Lakeville, Illinois, the A&R Trucking and Radiator entry, Gary Zobel. On the outside, in car number 12, out of Kenosha, the Miller American Dells Auto Museum Gambler, the driver Kim Mock. In row number 10, on the inside, in car number 5, from Muskego, Wisconsin, the Young's Auto Body, Muskego Animal Hospital Gambler, the driver Dick Coburn. On the outside, in car number 41, out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, the Budweiser Dixon Automotive Gambler, the driver Dennis Spitz. And in the back row on the inside, in car number 75S, out of West Bend, Wisconsin, the NA Race Engine Mac Tools Gaten's Auto Body Gambler, driven by Kenny Bertzer. And on the outside, in car number 95C, the Bob Warren Automotive S&S Welding sponsored Challenger, out of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, Bill Warren. The lineup for the 35-lap World of Outlaws Skoal Coors Light Shootout feature. Waiting for Jim Mullis yet to join the field. Jimmy Mullis in car number 30 still sits in the staging area. Everybody else is out. Jim Mullis in car number 30, buttoning up now. Well, let's have a nice, safe 35 laps with some good, tight World of Outlaw action as the Thunder is about to turn loose here at the Hales Corner Speedway tonight. Here comes Jimmy Mullis. Mullis out of the pit area to join the field, and now we have them all. Jimmy Mullis joins the field, and I look for Dick Witt to put him in the 4s, and we're going to do a nice wave lap around here today. Let's get whatever you got white. If you got your lighters or your matches with you, get them lit. Let's wish these guys well. Jimmy Mullis falls in. I think Dick Witt about ready to cross them over now into their rows of 4. Dick will put them into the rows of 4. That's hard to do here with these sprint cars. Very narrow racetrack. To be going 4 abreast with these big sprinters, you got to be real careful. Got to be real careful when you line them up. This time around, let's wave to them starting down there on turn number 4. Let's get it way up high. Get your hats, your programs, your lighters, whatever you got. Let's wave and wish these guys well. Here they come, the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. All right. Boy, does that look nice. All right, let's carry it down into turn number 4. Dick Witt ready to put them back in the rows of 2. Back into the rows of 2. And then we'll be ready for the Thunder. The Thunder, the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. Here at Hales Corners, Dick Witt, 1 lap signal. Back into the rows of 2. The last time they'll be going by here slowly. Before the drop of that green flag, and Dick stands amongst the rows. Everybody has got to know that the next time by, if they hold their position, the green flag will fly. That Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS from A.J. Foyt, the pace car of the Skoal World of Outlaw Shootout Series. And here comes the Coors Light World of Outlaw Shootout. Here they come! Each in the lead. Mark Kinser running second. Car number 6, Bobby Davis in the 6-car run. In the number 4 spot, car number 48, Mark Kinser running third. Mark Kinser in car 48 runs third. Brad Doty now up to 5th. Brad Doty to 5th. Here comes Steve Kinser. You got a new leader. Kinser the leader. Well, Brad Doty with a wheelie all the way down the front stretch. Brad Doty did a wheelie all the way down the front stretch that last time. Steve Kinser leads the way. Second place is East. Mark Kinser in the 48 car running third. Bobby Davis is fourth. Car number 10 running fifth. Ronnie Schumann in sixth. It's Brad Doty. The 3X car of Danny Smith in the next spot. Steve Kinser running away, puts the lap on the 93 car of Gary Zobel. Gary Zobel in the 93 goes down a lap. He gets by the 12 and the 41 as well. Now he puts the lap on Billy Warren and Kenny Beerster. Boy, Kinser just driving away from the field. Comes up on Alan Winker and the 5 car of Dick Coburn. Steve Kinser just driving right by the field. Second place is East. Oh, and again Doty does the wheelie down the front straightaway. Boy, Brad Doty just sticking his wheel in the air, coming whistling down that front straightaway. Billy Kogis in the 2 car, the next car to face the side of Steve Kinser. And Kinser goes right by him, closing up now on the 30 of Jimmy Mullen. It's all Winker. It's all 11 cars of Steve Kinser. Kinser gets by Mullen. Shoots the gap now on Bobby Roble. Puts the pressure on Rick Keller in the 24 car. Whoa, what a display of power out of Steve Kinser. Now up on John Tierney in the 3N. Puts the second lap on the 12 of Jimmy Mott. Bob Peterson will be next, and what can you say about the way Steve Kinser is driving here at Hales Corners tonight? As he goes shooting right on by the inside. 16 laps complete. Next will be the 45 car of Johnny Herrera. Oh, down on the bottom. Johnny Herrera's down one. Kids are just flying. Got a full straightaway, better than a full straightaway lead. He may off the field before we're out of here. Jack Houdenschile. Here comes your second place car, Brad Doty. He's better than a full half a lap behind. Third place is East in the 17 car. Then you've got the 2 cars. Running in the next spot, and then Kinser. And Mark Kinser is about to go down a lap. 25 laps down this time by. 25 down, Mark Kinser down 1. Jerry Houdenschile will be the next car if he can catch him. Steve Kinser just destroying him here. Steve Kinser just driving like the wind tonight, going right by people. 26 laps complete. Closing in on Jack Houdenschile. Just shooting it now. He closed right in on Houdenschile now as he try to put a lap on Houdenschile, and he'll have lapped all but 5 cars. Yellow light, whoa, we got 1, 2, 3 cars involved. John Tierney, the 93 of Zobel, John Tierney and Zobel involved in the corner. Leads it. Brad Doty's running second. John Tierney, Robel, the 2 cars involved in the wreck. At least 4 times he picked the front end right off the ground coming out of turn 4 and held it there all the way down the front straightaway. Man, I don't know how you steer one of those things when you don't have the wheels on the ground. 1 or 2 more cars to get square and we'll be ready to go. Dick says 1 more time around. We are ready to go. Hang on to your hats now because it's shootout time. We got a 6-lap trophy dash left. Well, they put Bobby Davis Jr. in front of Brad Doty. We're going to see how that works out, because that's your second and third place cars right together on the racetrack. There they come. Kinser runs away and hides. Bobby Davis Jr. in the 6 car runs second. Brad Doty is third. And boy, Bobby Davis is making no bones about it. Going to show everybody he belongs in that number 2 spot. Boy, folks, we're running right up against the outside walls on both sides of the racetrack. Steve Kinser. Steve Kinser, Bobby Davis Jr., Brad Doty. The 3X of Danny Smith. 33 this time by. 33 complete this time by for car number 11. Steve Kinser, 2 to go. Bobby Davis, Brad Doty, Danny Smith, Chris East. And the 2-car Jack Houdenschile. White flag this time around. White flag for Steve Kinser. Steve Kinser makes it number 20. And Brad Doty does not come up much in the point standings. As a matter of fact, Brad Doty drops back in the point standings. Second place to Bobby Davis Jr. Brad Doty finishes third. Danny Smith finishes fourth. Chris Eash is fifth. Jack Houdenchild finishes sixth. Those are the drivers on the lead lap. Oh, brother, here he is, Steve Kinser. And this youngster knows how to get around in a sprint car. That Coors Light Silver Bullet. Stewart Chassis automobile just made it look so easy tonight. And we'll get the pictures taken, then we'll get Steve up here. Let's hear it for him. He's got the helmet off, number 25. Steve Kinser, 25 feature wins. There he comes out of behind the race car. Second place, Bobby Davis Jr. Brad Doty is third. Danny Smith is fourth. Chris Eash is fifth. Jack Houdenchild finishes in the sixth spot. And for Steve Kinser, everybody else was a lap down or more. Don't forget tomorrow night out here at Hales, time trials at 6:30, racing at 8, late models, Sportsman, and Hales, Wales. Well, my vote went to Steve Kinser for the best appearing car. I must be right. He won, right? Whoa, what a drive. And did you see the way he picked his way through traffic? How about that Brad Doty doing the wheelies down the front stretch? And we're not going to take one thing away from that beautiful second place performance of Bobby Davis Jr. He really showed he deserved to be there. When the restart hit, Bobby Davis was gone, but he was only half gone because Steve Kinser was completely gone. He's showing why that guy is a race car driver of the top stature. Well, we'd like to thank Roger Miller. Roger had a tough job tonight because we didn't have any pit radio that was working. Steve, can you come on up here for just a minute? We'll have a word with Steve Kinser. He's coming on up. It's been a long, long night for Steve Kinser, but a very rewarding one, I'm sure. As the Coors Light Silver Bullet 11 car goes back to the pit area. Here he comes one more time. Let's hear it for Steve Kinser. Steve, tremendous drive.
Well, the car was working really good. It was squirting off the corners nice, and we just kept her nice and straight, and it was going around there real good. We made some changes on it, and just sort of watched the track and seemed to make just the right change on it. And really had it working good, either in the middle or on the bottom. It was working good enough the middle. I didn't really have to go to the top, try to go the long way around and get hung up coming off the corners. So I don't know. It seemed like wherever we got to, we could squirt by, and when you got them working that good, it makes it a little bit easier.
Well, you got everybody but 6, I got to tell you. And it's a warm night. It's hard work in one of those race cars. You are a superb race car driver, my man. The Coors Light Silver Bullet machine, I know you give a lot of credit to the crew, you give a lot of credit to the machine. But when you can go through traffic the way you did and drive the kind of race and win 25 like you have this year, it's a credit to your ability, not just the machine. Congratulations.
Well, it's a whole team effort from Carl to me to Paul Elrod to Gambler and Coors Light. And we're just glad to have the people from Coors Light behind us, and it makes it where we can get out and race a little bit more, and it helps our team a little bit too. So it's just one heck of a team all the way around.
Well, you must like this place because that's 3 wins here, and we hope to see you here at Hales Corners again. Again, congratulations. We'll let you go get cooled down. A tremendous drive for that automobile. Thank you for putting on the show that you did, and thanks to all the guys in the world of Outlaws. This is the best sprint car series by far in the world today.
Well, we thank you, and we thank all your race fans too.
Okay, Steve Kinser. Okay, remember, if you're going to go into the pit area tonight, to be very careful. Those cars will be very warm. We do invite you down. Don't forget the World of Outlaws Sprint souvenir trailer. You can still get a World of Outlaws souvenir from down at the trailer tonight. Also, other Sprint souvenirs from the Junior Braga souvenir trailer. Come on out tomorrow night. We got late model action, Sportsman, and Hales, Wales. Tomorrow, another great night of racing here at the Hales Corners Speedway.